Magine waking up to the most unexpected headline of the century. Donald Trump has converted to Islam. Yes, the same man known for his strict immigration policies and strong stance on Muslim-majority countries is now one of them. World leaders are in shock, social media is on fire, and everyone is asking, why? Is this real? And what happens next? In this video, we'll break down the global reactions, from the White House to the Middle East. We'll explore how his supporters, critics, and the Muslim community might respond. And most importantly, we'll uncover the deeper implications of this shocking transformation. Stay with us till the end, because the answers might surprise you. Welcome to Worldy Wonders, where we explore mind-blowing what-if scenarios. If you love thought-provoking content, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's dive in. Before we talk about the reactions to Trump's conversion, let's take a step back and look at his past relationship with Islam. During his 2016 presidential campaign, Trump made several controversial statements about Muslims. He once called for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the U.S., arguing it was necessary for national security. This later evolved into the travel ban, which restricted entry from several Muslim-majority countries. The policy faced massive backlash, with critics calling it discriminatory, while his supporters saw it as a strong stance against terrorism. Trump also had a complicated relationship with Muslim leaders. While he hosted iftar dinners at the White House, his administration's policies often put him at odds with many Muslim communities. Yet, in 2017, he made a high-profile visit to Saudi Arabia, where he was welcomed with grandeur, signing billion-dollar deals, and even taking part in a traditional sword dance. Despite these moments, Trump was widely viewed as a leader who fueled Islamophobic sentiments in the U.S. That's why the idea of him embracing Islam isn't just surprising, it's almost unimaginable. What happens when one of the most polarizing figures in modern politics makes an unimaginable decision? The political world wouldn't just react, it would explode. In the US, Trump's supporters would be split right down the middle. Some would see it as a betrayal of the values they believed he stood for, while others, especially his most loyal followers, might go to great lengths to defend or justify his decision. Conservative media would struggle to frame the narrative. Was this a personal transformation, or was there something more at play? The Republican Party would face an identity crisis. Would they continue to back the man who redefined their movement, or would they distance themselves to avoid alienating their voter base? On the other side, Democrats might not hold back, calling it political theater, a distraction, or even a strategic move to shift public perception. Some might welcome it, but skepticism would run high. Beyond the US, the shockwaves would reach global leaders. Muslim-majority countries would have mixed feelings. Some might see it as an opportunity to strengthen ties, offering him a warm welcome. Others might be more cautious, questioning the sincerity behind his conversion. Meanwhile, nations that once saw Trump as a champion of Western conservatism, like parts of Europe and India, could rethink their alliances or view this as a dramatic shift in global power dynamics. The political landscape wouldn't just change, it would be rewritten overnight. The moment the news breaks, the world's biggest media outlets would go into overdrive. Breaking news: Donald Trump converts to Islam. A headline so shocking it would dominate every screen. Within minutes, journalists, analysts, and political commentators would scramble to make sense of it. Some networks would praise his decision, calling it a bold, personal transformation. Others would tear it apart, questioning the timing, the motives, and what it really means for global politics. Conservative media might struggle. Would they support their longtime icon, or would they turn against him? Meanwhile, liberal outlets might treat it with a mix of amusement and suspicion, speculating if this was just another calculated PR stunt. But if traditional media is chaotic, social media would be an all-out battlefield. Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit would explode with debates, theories, and an endless flood of memes. Some users might defend Trump's right to choose his faith, while others would mock or challenge the sincerity of his conversion. Conspiracy theories would spread like wildfire. Was he forced? Was this part of a secret deal? Or was it just another headline-grabbing move? The world wouldn't just be watching, it would be reacting in real time, with every tweet, post, and comment shaping the narrative. For many Muslims, this news wouldn't just be surprising, it would be hard to believe. In the US, the reaction from Muslim communities would be deeply divided. Some might see it as a powerful moment, proof that anyone, even someone who once pushed anti-Muslim policies, can find truth in Islam. Mosque leaders, scholars, and activists might call for forgiveness, urging Muslims to embrace him as a brother in faith. But not everyone would be so quick to celebrate. Skepticism would run deep. Many American Muslims still remember the travel bans, the rhetoric, and the policies that made life harder for them. Some might ask, is this real faith or just another political move? Would he acknowledge his past actions? Would he seek to make amends? Outside the US, the reaction would vary across the Muslim world. Some leaders and scholars might welcome his conversion as a step toward greater understanding between the West and Islam. Others might question his sincerity, wondering if this was an attempt to gain influence in Muslim-majority nations. Would he be seen as a new ally, or as someone who could never truly be trusted? Regardless of where they stood, one thing would be certain: no one would ignore it. If Donald Trump became Muslim, American politics would never be the same. One of the biggest questions would be, would he change his stance on policies that once targeted Muslims and immigrants? Would he now speak out against the travel bans he once defended? Would he push for new laws that protect Muslim communities? If so, his supporters, especially the hardline conservatives, might feel completely betrayed. At the same time, could this shift American views on Islam itself? Would some of his followers, who once held negative perceptions of the religion, start seeing it differently? Or would it backfire, creating even more division between those who accept his change and those who reject it? And then there's the biggest question of all: how would this affect future elections? If Trump stayed politically active, would his base still support him, or would they turn to someone else? Would Muslim voters, who overwhelmingly opposed him in the past, reconsider? And what about the Republican Party? Would they adapt, or would they push him aside? One thing is certain: this wouldn't just be a personal decision. It would shake the very foundation of US politics. Before we talk about the long-term effects of Trump's conversion, let's look at other well-known figures who embraced Islam and how the world reacted. One of the most famous examples is Muhammad Ali. When the legendary boxer converted in the 1960s, it was a defining moment in American history. His decision was met with backlash, praise, and controversy. But over time, he became one of the most beloved figures in the world. His faith became central to his identity, and he used his platform to promote peace and justice. Another interesting case is Joram van Klaveren, a former Dutch politician who built his career on criticizing Islam until he converted in 2019. His transformation shocked many, as he had once been part of a movement that opposed the religion. Over time, he explained that his views had changed after studying Islam deeply. But Trump's situation would be on a completely different level. Unlike Ali, who was an athlete, or Van Klaveren, who was a European politician, Trump is a global icon, a former US president, and a deeply polarizing figure. His past actions, political history, and influence would make his conversion far more controversial than anything seen before. Before we talk about the long-term impact, we have to ask the biggest question: why would Donald Trump convert to Islam? One possibility is that it's a genuine spiritual awakening. People change, and history has seen powerful figures embrace new beliefs later in life. Maybe Trump had a personal experience that led him to Islam, or perhaps he found something in the religion that resonated with him. If that were the case, his followers and critics alike would have to rethink everything they thought they knew about him. But others would see it as a strategic move. Could this be a calculated shift to gain influence in the Muslim world? Trump is known for making bold, unexpected decisions. Was this just another way to expand his power, create a new voter base, or repair relationships with Muslim-majority countries? And then, there are the conspiracy theories. Some might claim he was forced into it, while others might suggest it's part of a larger political game. Whatever the reason, one thing is certain: this decision would define the rest of his legacy. Would he be remembered as a leader who changed for the better? Or would history see this as his most shocking and controversial move yet? Whether real or hypothetical, Donald Trump converting to Islam would shake the world like never before. It would spark political chaos, media frenzy, and endless debates about his motives and legacy. Some would celebrate it, others would reject it, but no one would ignore it. What do you think? Would the world accept his transformation, or would it only create more controversy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this thought-provoking scenario, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to Worldly Wonders for more mind-blowing what-if discussions. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.